CKNW News Talk 980, BC's news leader.
And he joins me in studio now. Ron Toigo is Managing Director of Shato Holdings. What's the difference between Managing Director and CEO?
Well, it's basically the same role. It's a role that I share with my brother, Peter, and I focus mainly on the real estate side of things, and he focuses a lot on the operation side. And Shato Holdings is a pretty diverse company with a number of operating companies, a number of real estate companies.
What was your first job?
Well, my first job, I think, was working at cleaning out garbage bins in a grocery store, Super Value and Ladder. Well, I guess my first job was probably paper route, but my first real job was working for Super Value, cleaning out garbage.
And then what did you do?
Oh, I've had jobs as cleaning up oil spills. I worked as a glazier. I worked as a installer for awnings. I worked on the tugboats for C-SPAN for 5 years, which was a great job. I really enjoyed that. And then I got injured doing that and really ruined my back to some extent, that I was laid up for 6 months and refocused my life on real estate and got into the real estate business and from there got into the development business and grew from there, and eventually joined my dad's firm, Shato Holdings, and went on from there.
And they acquired White Spot.
They acquired White Spot, and actually it was in the 80s when my dad had been in the development business for, he was doing joint ventures with Dayon and Jack Poole in acquiring lands for shopping centers, and he sold out to Dayon and had some decent money in the bank for the first time, and was getting like 22% interest in the bank. So why do anything? Well, the early 80s, there was really difficult times, similar to what we just went through. The only difference is interest rates were over 20%. So take what we just been through and quadruple the interest rates and see what the impact would be.
Would you describe your dad as a mentor to you?
Definitely, yes, absolutely. He was definitely a mentor, and he had so much drive in his life, and he was always pushing the envelope to do more, to leverage everything he had. He lived under so much leverage. I think the stress he was under his entire life has eventually caught up with him, and he died early at 60 years old. And I think the stress level that he lived under was the big reason.
Did you learn from that?
Yeah, I think we all learned from that. But to do what he did, to start with nothing and turn it into what he did, I don't think he ever saw single-digit interest rates. This would be free money to him. So if he did live, I can't imagine the size of the company would be now. But no, he was a very special guy, and his attitude, more than anything, on how to deal with people and how to do things. There was no shortcuts. You never hurt people along the way. There's no point in making a deal happen if you're going to be destroying somebody in the process, and it's a longer route to go, I think. I've seen it done the other way, where people don't care about people, and they make a lot of money, but it was never his way, and his philosophy was there's always room at the table for everybody. If you're doing a deal and you take advantage of the situation to the point where you're getting everything and the other guy's left with nothing, that's not a good deal.
How do you deal with the diversity? We mentioned the holding company, the real estate business, the White Spot, and the hockey giants are probably the two highest profile things that you're involved in, but they're all very different in some way.
Yeah, everything's different, but another thing we learned from my father was you're only as good as the people that are with you, and we try to hire the best people we possibly can, and expect loyalty from them, and we give them loyalty in return. And we've been really fortunate that the people that work with us are extremely loyal and follow in those footsteps.
Stay with you for a long time.
and stay with us for long, or grown with us, like Warren Earhart that runs White Spot. He came up through the channels there, and he's since he's been the president, we've had literally no labor issues. Warren's a guy that can walk in any restaurant and talk to the guys in the kitchen, or talk to the guys on the floor, or talk to anybody, know them by their name, and really care about how they're doing and how the business is going. And
I've been a lifetime customer at White Spot. As a matter of fact, I sat in the car and had lunch last week at the White Spot in Park Royal, and it took me back to when I was 16 or 17 years old, and it was almost the same. The inside has changed a lot, but you still in that location maintain car hop service.
Yeah, we have a number of those locations still, and that's really where White Spot started as a car hop business on Granville Street when Nat Bailey, 67th in Granville, he had the block there, and he just built this giant fence and painted it white, and there was a kitchen, or a little hut with a kitchen in it, and it was all car service, and the fence was painted white so you could see it from miles away, and he just called it the White Spot, and that's where the name came from, and that was the start of the business. And
I also remember when Triple O was introduced, and now it's a brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Triple O was extra sauce and extra relish, extra mayonnaise, and so they just made Triple O for each one of them. And that's what became Triple O. And
it
now
was a very distinct sauce, but now it's a
brand
with its own locations.
Yeah. Well, we knew that there was a demand for a quick service version of White Spot, where people just wanted the hamburger, and the drive-thrus are important. But we wanted to go to a higher quality drive-thru hamburger place, and to deliver the White Spot quality on a quicker version. And to come up with the name, we looked at White Spot Juniors, like a lot of people seem to do. In fact, at one time we did open a White Spot Juniors, I think in Victoria, but it didn't quite go the way we wanted. So when we reinvented it, the name Triple O's is what everybody seemed to want to go with, and now it's evolved into a real solid brand for us.
I've noticed a change in your advertising recently, where you appear to be trying to either bring back or make people comfortable with the restaurant that they grew up with. Instead of being flashy, being an Earl's or a Milestones, you're being distinctly White Spot.
Well, we've got we've been around since 1921 or 1928. There's a number of lapsed users, and Warren and his team's philosophy was, let's try and go for the heritage type, nostalgic type advertising that tells everybody we're still White Spot. We still have those core things that people want to order. But come and see us if you haven't been here for the last 10 years or so. And we, we think the decor is similar to an Earl's or a Cactus Club, but it also still has the core values that White Spot grew up with. And we think we got the best of both worlds.